Jennifer. It's good to hear that you and your baby are doing well. You recently got a hold of me and had some questions about your new business that you're starting regarding the sale of your and other donors' breast milk. And so I'm just going to go ahead and answer some of those questions. While I originally thought your idea was great, there's certainly a market for it in today's society, and I think it would be very successful. After I did some research, I discovered that there's some pretty high risks involved with this type of business, and because of these risks, I don't know that I would recommend continuing to pursue this type of business. There's currently a federal law that prohibits the sale of bodily fluids. The government and Congress have never explicitly said that they will consider breast milk to be included in their definition of bodily fluids, but considering that it's breast milk, I would consider that the risk of them concluding that it is a bodily fluid is pretty high. Continuing with your business may result in you being pursued for violation of a federal law, which could include a large fine or even jail time. On the other hand, if you do decide to go ahead and pursue this business, I'll go ahead and explain some risks that you should reasonably foresee and some ways that you can handle that. There are some recent entrepreneurships that have definitely pushed the envelope on what's okay under the law, and some of them are very successful. I'm sure you've heard of Airbnb or Uber, and these are businesses that initially had a lot of pushback from the government in the areas they were in as being illegal, and they ended up still being very successful. These businesses were able to adapt to still meet the purpose of the law that they were violating, and even ended up in the government reforming some laws that were just outdated. And so while this could happen with your business, it's very rare that this would happen. I would say that these businesses were able to identify the government's purpose under these laws to ensure safety of citizens, and they were able to meet this purpose while still showing that their business could be run. You could apply this technique to your business if you can foresee some of the government's purposes behind prohibiting the sale of bodily fluids. You may identify a purpose of the government behind prohibiting bodily fluids as to prohibit the consumption of drugs or alcohol that could be in the breast milk, or chemicals or toxins that would then be fed to babies or consumed by other people. And you could find a way that you could help the government ensure that the breast milk that you are selling is safe for consumption, maybe by buying a filtration or a testing system to conclude the safety of the bodily fluid you're selling. Even doing so, there's no guarantees that this would fulfill the complete purpose of the government behind including or prohibiting the sale of bodily fluids. The government often has several purposes in creating its laws, and sometimes it's not going to budge from the enactment of these laws, and there's really little you can do about it. I'm sure a testing or filtration system won't be cheap. You said that you spent most of your money on buying freezers for your business, and so I don't know if this is even really an option for you. As you can see, there's lots of risk involved. Unless you're willing to spend quite a bit of money to foresee some of the obstacles you would have in continuing your business, and then also you're okay with some of the high risks of being pursued for a federal law violation, I would recommend not continuing this type of business.